Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to On the Perf Podcast, your source for, Adam and Adam talking about shooty stuff. It'll kind of be what it is. Sometimes it's matches, sometimes it's drama, sometimes it's random gun things. Today, it's going to be Race Gun Nationals. But before we get to that, Mr. Maxwell, how are you doing, buddy? You still you catching those red eyes back and forth? You still strung out?
Dude, I'm barely hanging on. I took too many red eyes in a row because I had a customer throw up the bat signal, and when they throw up the bat signal, I will be there, but it's rough, man. I don't know where we're at. I don't know what time of day it is. I mean, I'm drinking Red Bull, for crying out loud. That's the kind of day it is. But
he's drinking Red Bull at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Not a good sign.
Yeah.
Not a good sign.
But I also had a nap this afternoon, and
awesome.
I watched The Dirty Dozen for free on YouTube, so it could really go either way. It's
Dude, what a classic! I have not seen that forever.
Did you know that
Does it hold up? I haven't seen it in like 15 years. Does it hold up?
Yeah. And did you know that the current movie rating system, the GPG, PG-13R, that was made for that movie. And it almost
really?
It almost got an X. Like, they almost said it was obscene and could not be shown to people.
Oh my God. That's hilarious.
So I saw one of these, like, did you knows on YouTube about, like, that movie.
Yeah.
And, like, the main character whose name I forget, but like the strong, the major guy, like the officer who's been in a ton of
that like recruits all the guys.
Yeah, the guy who's been like in a ton of Warhawk, America type movies. He's literally drunk the whole time. Literally, there was a person on set. It was their job to attend to him, to make sure that he was at just the right amount of inebriated, but not out of control. But apparently he was
the good old days of movie making, man.
Yeah, and then there was like two other guys in the cast that like legitimately hated each other and like got into a fight. And so they're like, these two guys right here, not acting. They really don't like each other. They just made sure the camera was on.
They just turn on the camera when they're just going to town. Like, well, if we're gonna punch each other out, might as well get it on film.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah. True method acting.
Yes.
I feel like movies are missing that. Now it's just like, go stand in front of the green screen and read your lines.
Yeah, it's all CGI now.
Yeah, it's a bummer. Well, as always, On the Perf Podcast is brought to you by Atlas Gunworks. And Maxwell here has he needs some help with something. He needs some help.
I need some help.
What's going on?
I need some help from On the Perf Nation. Because for longtime listeners, and dare I say friends of mine, they will recall the era when the Erebus was being born and there was a prototype pistol. And so a fun game that I would play is I would have people call in and ask for the Maximus before it actually had a name. To the point that the salesperson at the time said, it's not going to be called the Maximus. Like, fetch is never going to happen. You need to stop. and second of all,
speaking of which, I'm going to cut you off really quick because I was down in Texas this weekend shooting the Vortex shootout, and one of the guys rolled up and he was asking me questions about my Atlas, and he says, "Oh yeah, I got an Erebus."
Arriba!
Oh, you poor guy. Anyways, I wasn't.
You, sir, are
I
not
didn't
Greek.
correct him. I was like, I'm just going to let you go through life being your bad self. Anyways.
Because I don't want to be the one to tell you.
Yeah, I want to let you down like that. Go ahead. Continue, sir. Continue.
All right. It got to a point that the salesperson, she's not there anymore, but that salesperson said, "Hey, like, stop having people call me and ask for that, because we're not going to do that, and when we do, it's not going to be called that." So I need your help, OTP Nation, because I could foresee a world where we would need a new footprint of optic plate for our Atlas pistols. If you were to look out at the last SHOT Show, a collaboration between Aimpoint and Glock, resulted in a footprint that the entire industry is probably going to standardize on, and yet somehow neither Glock nor Aimpoint are able to make those products right now. So that's very interesting.
I disagree with your assessment of the word standardized used for the firearms industry just across the board.
Right.
I think that's a hilarious use of that word.
Right. I mean,
it kind of would be nice.
I see a world where we'll need these plates. And so I asked him the other day, I called and talked to Tony in sales, and I was like, hey man, like, I could see a world where I'm going to like need a plate like this. Is there any way that I could like start the pot simmering on you guys having a running start at making one of these plates? And he was kind of like, oh yeah, we hadn't really thought about that yet, and maybe like we'll get there when it's time, kind of thing. And I was like, okay, well, just seeing what I see out there, I see a world where you might need one of those, and I might need one sooner than later. So I would love to just like plant that bug in your ear. And he was very polite, and he's like, yeah, I got it. And so it occurred to me that this could be a fun group participation on the Perf Podcast activity where you out there, listeners, you could reach out to Atlas Gunworks spending $0. You could reach out to them and let them know just exactly how much reach OTP has. All you have to do is hit up Atlas Gunworks. You get to Tony in sales or Matt Barnhart in parts, and you say, hey, I would love a Koa footprint optics plate, please. And they will know exactly where that comes from. So I think that's a fun game we could play for a little while that like will probably get us in trouble, but not like real trouble, like haha trouble, not like you're fired trouble.
More like chewed out. I've been chewed out before.
Yeah, I've been chewed out before. It's fine.
I watched that. I rewatched that movie on this trip on the plane, and oh my god, I forgot how good that movie was. Jesus.
So if you want to help us, you guys need to hit up Tony or Matt at Atlas Gunworks and ask for a Koa optic plate. Your country needs you. Stand by for the episode when I say, okay, everybody, we need to turn that off now.
Turn that off. We're blowing up. Yeah. We're on good terms with these guys. We gotta be able to turn it off at some point here.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
But that is a great inside joke that you at home could partake in. And so just go ahead, reach out to our friends at Atlas Gunworks and ask for a Koa optic plate.
Hell yeah.
We are also brought to you by Briley Manufacturing. Riser, what do you got for Briley from this week?
Indeed we are. Oh, man. I got all kinds of Briley stuff because I got to spend some quality time with Robbie down in Texas. As is tradition for Briley at pretty much every major three-gun match on that half of the country. Robbie was there with the trailer, providing support, helping out all kinds of people, including me. I had an issue with my dissident, which we'll talk about on the next podcast. And got to check out some other cool stuff. So I got to check out that 1022 conversion M2 clone thing that Maxwell talked about a few podcasts ago. It was like the picture that I had in my head of this thing was not what it was in reality. Like the picture I had in my head is like
whatever you're picturing at home. That's not it. That's not it.
No, I was like, have you ever seen somebody who has a AR furniture kit for a 1022? I was picturing something like that.
Yeah, and
this
are
is
horrible.
not what that was.
No,
it's all weighted in the right way. Like you picked it up and you're like, this is the same weight as this Briley modified gun that I'm holding in my other hand. Like the swing, like everything felt the same. It was awesome. And like, I would love to just go shoot like USPSA stages with that thing. And, you know, for like shoot a bunch of like steel, like have a USPSA stage, put a bunch of like knockdown steel and run around and shoot that. That would be so sweet.
Yeah.
Like that'd be great shotgun practice.
Like I was telling Riser or I think maybe when I said on the show, but I'm like sitting in the camp chair and they're like, hey, you need to check this out. And I'm like, no, I don't. And they're like, yeah, you do. And I'm like, no, I don't. And then they're like, just try it. Candy Mountain.
Candy Mountain, Charlie.
Charlie.
Oh, shit, they took my kidney.
Well, that's what happened when that thing hit my hands, because I'm looking at it and I'm seeing something that's not correct, but in my hands, it hit the taste buds just right. I mean, it tasted like a schnozberry as soon as I put that stock in my cheek.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I need one of these, like right now.
It's so cool. It was shockingly cool.
If you're a standard or modified shooter next year for shotgun, you need one of these in your life. Like, you just need one. You just trust me. You don't even have to. You don't even have to go look at it. Just trust me. You need one.
Yeah, it was shockingly cool. And but the other thing I did while I was there, as we talked about on an earlier episode, since switching to open a few years ago, I've really fallen out of touch with like the current state of modified shotguns and all the things that people are doing to them now. Like my gun, which was pretty much like the coolest thing you could get your hands on 5 years ago, is borderline obsolete. It's mind-blowing how good those guns are. And so I wanted to get like the real lowdown on like, hey, grab one of these things and just talk me through all the stuff that you guys do to it. So Robbie and I hung out there for quite a while and just sort of ran me through all of the things that Briley can do to a tube gun to make it a cutting edge modified shotgun. And we talked about like literally everything that can be changed on that. And then also things like, okay, do you want a giant, KL12 style comp, or do you want comped chokes with ports, and what's the difference? And so at some point in the future, when we run out of current matches to talk about, we are going to go neck deep on all things modified shotgun. Honestly, because I find it to be super interesting, because I haven't been paying attention, and the advancements that have happened in the last 5 years in that world are quite impressive. And it's kind of making me wish I wasn't an open, if I'm being real.
Well, hey man, like you don't have to stay there forever. Like you could,
Yeah, but I'm a KL12 and an Apollo deep into open, and unlike you, I don't have all the guns. And, so,
but you could.
I could. I could have all the guns.
What strikes me, like in the U.S., we think of modified as like Diet Coke open. They're like, it's kind of like the half step between standard and all out. From what I understand in Europe, modified is the all out. A modified is the crazy race division.
Yeah.
So it's amazing. It's amazing what all can be done there and how aggressive they can be, because by IPSC standards, I mean, you're kind of in a box with open in that, like, there's a formula that works, and, like, you either have that formula or you don't.
Yeah.
And
yeah. And the other thing, too, is in open there, it's 10-round mags.
Yeah.
So you actually start at a capacity disadvantage compared to modified.
Yeah.
And that, so your reloads are, mildly faster than quick quads, but not by like a shocking amount, because you only get 10 per reload. So you can't just roll up there with your 20-round big stick and shoot the whole stage. So it's a different game.
Yeah, open is a limited division.
Yeah, isn't that strange?
Yeah, it's an oxymoron, but yeah, limited.
Yeah.
Open is a restricted division, and modified is the wild effing west.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty.
We got
crazy.
stendo tubes, for crying out loud.
Stendo tubo, cuz.
That's like four movie references in one episode.
Oh, dude, we are crushing it with early 2000s pop culture right now.
Man, we should.
Anybody in their mid 30s is so excited, and anybody in their late 20s or early 20s is like, "What the shit are you guys talking about?"
Should be tripping on Red Bull all the time when we do shows. This is good stuff.
Yeah. We're just gonna get Maxwell like 48 hours without sleep. I'm like, all right, dude, let's run one out. let's get this done. Oh yeah.
every Sunday to Monday, we're gonna do a sleep deprivation.
Yeah, exactly. Well, before we get on to our actual topic, we need ourselves a Gary of the day, and I am told that Mr. Maxwell here has one. What do you got for us, Adam?
All right, Riser, what is the number one rule of the Gary of the day?
The number one rule of the Gary of the day? Jerry does some Gary stuff, but Jerry ain't no Gary.
Okay, what's rule number 2 of the Gary of the day?
It's not a Gary if somebody actually gets shot.
There are exceptions to every rule.
Oh, no. Oh, no, dude. Wait. Does this have to do with an Instagram video that's been going around?
Yeah, we have to talk about it. If we're going to talk about Race Gun Nationals, we have to talk about it.
It seems like the obvious place to put it.
He got shot. So there was...
Not in the buttocks.
No, pretty close, though.
Pretty close. Kind of got the front butt. Oh, shit. We got him, ladies and gentlemen. Maxwell's officially dying.
It's not funny, but it is. Oh my god. So
focus. You're a professional. Professional media.
Red Bull it up. So there was actually a negligent discharge incident in the staff match. It was not openly talked about very much, but I
didn't know that was in a staff match.
That was in the staff match, yes. Okay. So before we even got there, that had happened, and I was not there. I could have been there because I was supposed to shoot the staff match, but I talked to some people who were there and saw it, and essentially what happened, it was not a 320, okay? So, but Sig is like kissing the ground and thanking the stars above that it was not another 320.
Like, oh, thank God.
Oh, thank God. Phil Strader's blood pressure went down just a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so it was a 1911 style pistol in a race style holster. I believe it was a double alpha. And it was...
Oh, I heard that it was an appendix carry. It was a...
No,
Okay.
Gotcha. No, it was not appendix. See, this is how rumors start, people, all right? This is why you need real media to get the facts for you.
That's right. We got you. We got you guys.
So it was a malfunctioning allegedly double alpha race-style holster. And it sounded like this guy was struggling with this holster already. So he was making ready, and he was kind of fidgeting with it, getting it, and he hadn't quite let go of it yet. So he's fidgeting with this holster that he's believed to have been having trouble with. And then all of a sudden, bagoosh! He puts a bullet.
This is on the draw?
No, it wasn't even, they hadn't given him standby yet.
Oh, so he's still putting the gun away.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's still holstering, kind of getting ready for launch mode, and he hadn't let go of it yet, and all of a sudden, boom, it went off. And he put a bullet through his quad. Would it be his quad on your front side?
Yep.
The front butt muscle is the quadricep?
Yep.
Yeah, so in the top, out on top of the knee, goes down, and then, like, you've all seen the video, and if you haven't seen the video, I'm sure it's easy to find. The RO's like, oh my god, like it just happened, that they weren't ready for it. It just happened. The guy kind of like goes down easy, and from what I understand, it took authorities 7 minutes to show up, and they rushed him to the hospital. Allegedly he is fine, and allegedly he requested to finish shooting the match.
That's what I heard.
And he got a resounding, "You done, son."
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Dean into yourself on the make ready is in fact a DQ.
Yeah. Yep. So he was not able to finish the match. But yeah. So the Gary of the day, if you're having trouble with your holster, that is not something you mess around with. All right. Holster trouble time is time to retire equipment and seek backup equipment. I have seen this before. With this, we actually had this happen in a 3-gun match locally in Wisconsin. A guy, he's predominantly a USPSA shooter. Oh no, I would claim he's one of our 3-gun people, but he shoots more USPSA than anything. And like when he's kind of like Riser, and when he spent the big money, he spent the big money on an open infinity gun. So he the year he had just gotten his open infinity gun, 38 Super Comp, the whole thing, he was essentially 3-gunning with his race holster, and so he was doing some long gun stuff and then transitioning pistol. And so he started with it locked, so it's in the race holster, and he had it locked because he was going to do all the long gun things. And he did not have the barrel support in there, so it was just holding by the trigger guard. And when he went to draw the pistol, when he swiped the lock fast and tried to, get the thing out of there, order of operations, he didn't get it out in time or get it correct, and it jammed. And so he freaked out on the clock trying to get this thing out of the holster, kind of shimmy shaking it, and it went off. Now, what this guy did different from the guy at Race Gun Nationals is he had his holster not pointed at himself. So when it went off, it just went off into the ground. But I was the RO, and he was shimmy shaking, all of a sudden boom! It was open gun that went boom. And it was like, oh, and the bullet landed a yard in front of us. It was like, okay, stop, and we got it taken care of. But Gary of the day, folks, holsters are not tertiary equipment. Like, that is primary equipment. And especially if your holster retains the gun off of the trigger guard, if your holster is not functioning correctly, that you need to take that seriously. That is a serious equipment issue that needs to get addressed. We have I know we have a couple guys locally. I'm sure you have a couple guys locally that maybe go cheap on the holster. Maybe a little Temu imitation race holsters. There are knockoff cheapo race holsters out there. You don't want the Chinese knockoff of the thing that holds your gun by the trigger guard. Okay?
Yeah.
Because even the original one, if it malfunctions, has serious consequences. But yes, Gary of the day is I could probably come up with something that would rhyme if I had a little bit more sleep. But man, if you're having a malfunctioning holster, Gary of the day is getting front butt by shooting yourself in the front butt by messing around with malfunctioning holsters at a national championship.
Yeah, that is pretty Gary.
That's some Gary shit right there. But he is okay. From what I understand, he is okay. It didn't hit anything super vital. He was at the hospital right away. They had a tourniquet on it right away. But it does not change the fact that he shot himself. So we're still playing with guns, people. So holsters are serious safety equipment. If you're having malfunctions with your holster, you need to take that seriously before you get hurt.
Yes, you do. All right. Well, with the first part of nationals out of the way, now we're going to get to the rest of nationals. So finally, USPSA Nationals, specifically Race Gun Nationals in this instance, back in St. George, Utah. Despite having not gone because I was in Texas, you guys have no idea how stoked I am for more big major matches to come back to St. George. For those who've been following along, the Sups range used to be kind of the hub of competition shooting in the West. And then somewhere along the line, because of some neighbors who moved next door to a gun range and then went, oh, it's loud next to a gun range, and then doing things like bringing in completely loaded 223 cartridges into City Hall and being like, this bullet landed in my driveway. That kind of shit was going on. And finally the city or state or somebody was like, okay, we're going to fix the range. So they bulldozed all the berms and reoriented the entire range in a like 90-degree different direction in order for the run out to be in a better area.
Well, so to paint the picture for those of you that aren't there, this range is essentially on the edge of town. St. George, Utah is right on the edge of Zion National Park, and Bryce Canyon and all that stuff. So lots of rock formations, like it's volcanic, right? Like it's sandstone.
So the cliff above the range there is all sandstone. And the way that it worked was behind the berms, 800 yards behind the berms. I know because I've shot targets at those cliffs in different 3-gun matches at 720. 800 yards behind the berms is a reasonably sized sandstone cliff, and then a ridge, and then on the other side of that, out of the line of sight, is the neighborhood where people complain about gunfire.
Yeah, so
I don't know that you could really have a better better backdrop. Like
in a world of common sense, it's like this is a very good backdrop, and they're a long ways away. Like when people from the Midwest or the East hear about people moving next to a gun range, they're actually hearing the gunfire. But like, I would really challenge these people to like, yeah, you could probably hear that something's going on down there, but like it ain't waking up your kids. All right. Yeah. Like, so it was actually pretty safe. Now, do I think maybe a zinger with not a lot of energy ended up there once in a while? I don't know, but I kind of have a hard time believing it. Like you say, or like Reiser said, I mean, this is the kind of thing where they show up with a factory new loaded cartridge in court and said this landed in my sandbox. All right. So, I think they just didn't like the idea of this. And if people who don't know what they're talking about talk to people who don't know what they're talking about, they could probably agree that, oh yeah, that's dangerous. We should change that. But
that's about right.
So, but however, this is a county-owned park, right? It's public land.
Yeah.
And so it's a community shooting park.
Yeah, that makes sense. I couldn't remember if it was city or state or county or what it was. But
something like that, though. But somehow, basically, what they arrived at, where before they kind of had it set up so that the logical natural backstop was the natural backstop. Essentially, now they completely flattened it and turned all the ranges, all the bays around so they face the other way essentially off into the valley now, which seems to be predominantly some kind of mining operation, although that industrial park also seems to be developing. So I could see a world where they're like, oh, now the fallout goes this way. To where they're actually going to develop. So I don't know that the challenges are over for the SUPS range, but
zero chances this is the end of it.
Yeah, so they turned everything around now. I was there a couple years ago for a Tuesday night steel when we were kind of hanging out after a PCSL match, and that was the first time I had seen the bays since I was there for a Hard as Hell, and I was like, oh man, they kind of really, this range is kind of lame now, because they designed them, and then like the difference in execution between drawing the range out on paper and then actually piling that dirt up and then seeing how much floor space was left after they piled the dirt up.
Yeah, well,
those were pretty small.
Happened. So basically, the people who operate the range and shoot on the range all the time were like, we want the bays. They're like, hey, draw it up. All right, cool. We want the bays to be this dimension. And so when the county got there to build it, they drew the lines on the ground of that dimension, and then they piled dirt. How tall do you think those back berms are? They're ridiculous. They're like 20 feet of dirt.
Oh, yeah, all of that. It's tall.
They're like at least 20 feet of dirt, like to the point where some of the bays barely get sunshine. Anyways,
we're gonna get
they
to
basically
that.
just started piling dirt on top of these lines, not understanding. Like anybody who's ever seen a pile of dirt or a pyramid or anything understands that as you go up, the dirt goes out at a roughly 45-degree angle. So when they piled 20 to 25 to 30 feet, no shit, of dirt high, that cut in 10 feet to 15 feet on each wall of the bay. So take like a perfectly reasonable 25-yard pistol bay, and now it is a very not reasonable 12-yard by 8-yard pistol bay, and you're like, what am I going to do with this? So since then, they have cut down berms and rebuilt berms. I have not seen it since that happened. Is it getting to like a reasonable place now, or where is it at?
I would now say that Sups is probably the best pistol major match venue I've been to.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Finally. Back to its old glory. Hell yeah.
Yeah. The bays are a size that makes sense. Now for multi-gun, we would probably think they're small. But for pistol matches, like they are the right size, and there are a lot of them. They're organized, they're oriented like close together, and they're flat. Drainage was a big thing before. They had the original Sups range kind of had some poor drainage in areas, so they were 100% not messing around with that now, especially because now they're essentially where before the berms faced into the hills, so the water would naturally flow out. Now we've built up dikes, and in the agricultural sense, so now they actually had to engineer the water to flow out of here on purpose. But like the grade is amazing.
Nice.
And I like the range surface. There's people, they're like, oh man, they're complaining about the range floor surface. I'm like, if you aren't on board with this range surface, what do you want?
What is it?
What do you want? Like it's not sand, it's solid, but it's also it has some bite to it, so like you can dig in, you can run on it, and when it gets rutted up, one of my favorite parts, they have the landscape rakes right there, so the ROs are just like raking the lawn, and they like can like return it to pristine with 3 strokes of a rake.
Hell yeah.
It's awesome. It's like if you don't like the Sups range surface, like you are the problem, because anywhere else you go, I mean, if you go back towards Vegas, you have ankle roller baseball sized rocks.
Yep.
If you go to Ohio, I actually really like Cardinal as well. People complain about Ohio. I'm not really sure why, but it's like, guess what? That ground holds water. So, and it rains there a lot. So like, to me it's the ideal location. Like the weather is almost guaranteed unless you put a match there in like December, and it's a good range surface, and the bays are of adequate size. It's a good destination place to be. Like it's a touristy place to go. There are other things to do when you're not shooting. Like it only makes sense to me to have major matches in St. George. Like the only place that makes more sense is Las Vegas, and Las Vegas has its own challenges. But like, I mean, this area of the country is like the perfect destination place to have a major action shooting event. So I was really happy with what they did. I was gonna go up and almost do like a little like, hey, when Riser and I drink, talk about hard as hell. Like here's where they used to do the long range stuff, and I was looking at it and I'm like, I'm not even sure this hasn't changed now. Like I could see where it was, but like I'm not even sure like the mud humps are the same. I think there's been some excavation in there. So it doesn't necessarily look the same that it used to. But yeah, it is kind of trippy when you look out there and it's like, oh yeah, we used to have a stage out there, but now you can't.
Nice. I am so happy to hear that it's been redone properly, because the interim fix was pretty shit. It was pretty shit. I shot one Barry's Steel Open or Steel Challenge out there, Steel Open, and the match was fun, but I was like, man, you guys just ruined this range. So I'm very, very happy that they've returned it to its former glory and potentially even better. That's freaking awesome.
There are people talking about trying to do a world shoot in the U.S. and trying to do a world shoot at SUPS. That has logistical challenges because typical Americans, we have no concept of the amount of resources that would take. But the first limitation they have is number of bays. But I think what's also unique there, and this is the age-old gun club problem, there's 3 clubs active right in that area that kind of have their own space.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, because there's like the Cowboy area, and then there's like the Red Rock area. If all 3 of this would be unprecedented in the shooting sports, but if all 3 of those clubs were able to work together,
you've already lost me in terms of it being a possibility.
Right, but that's what it would take because you need that many bays for that to happen. It could happen. It has logistical challenges. In Fantasyland, if the Cobalt range still existed, then a world shoot could probably come to St. George because they could have... Oh,
yeah, because you could have like Zone 1 and Zone 2.
Yeah, because they could have Zone 1, Zone 2 on the same side, on different sides of town. That would be... Could we just have a moment of silence for how awesome that would be? Like
that'd be.
Yeah, but that's as close as we're gonna get to that. I was stoked on the subs range.
So Maxwell Granis is getting around that a little bit. Where for PCSL Race Gun Nationals, my understanding is that all of the base stages are going to be at that range, and then the long range stages are actually going to be out by the shotgun range on the other side of that big hill that's in the middle of the valley there. So he's kind of...
I guess I don't know where the shotgun ranges are.
Yeah. So, as you're driving in right before you go through the main gate, essentially you turn left instead of driving straight through the main gate.
Yep.
And there's some stuff out there. So yeah, like there's ways around that, but man, how cool would that be to have a world shoot in St. George?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh, and you got to be careful with the L-bomb there, because you said long range to our audience. By doctrine, PCSL is not allowed to have longer than a 200-yard shot, I think.
Yep.
Or 250.
Yep.
I'm not sure exactly what it is.
Long range where a red dot and a 3x magnifier is plenty.
Yep. But but there will be some. It won't just be in those pistol. From what Riser is saying, it won't just be in those pistol bays. I'm here for it. And how here am I for it? I'm probably so excited for PCSL Nationals that I'm going to ship Riser my ammo when I get home. Just so I'm ready. Just so I'm ready.
To make sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. I still have some leftover, so don't forget about that.
Oh, I totally did.
Last time you're out here. Yeah. So I'll count it up if you don't have the count, but I'll let you know what you got here. But you still definitely have some. Because we just had to have our HVAC worked on, and all of my ammo storage is in that room. And I was like, I should probably move the many thousands of rounds of ammo that are just sitting out by our HVAC system before the guy comes over.
Yeah, when people come to work on mine, like there's no hiding it in my basement because my basement's unfinished.
Yeah.
Yeah, so... yeah. We had the conversation the other day domestically about a more regular contractor coming in, and I'm like, I don't love that idea at all. But we'll have to work
it's a little
that
spooky
out.
where you're like, that box over there has tens of thousands of dollars worth of guns in it.
Yep.
Okay, well, on to the match. So Nationals, Race Gun Nationals. So Race Gun Nationals was LO, Open, L10, PCC, and what else?
Limited.
Or was PCC and Limited. Okay.
Yeah, so PCC Open,
was in there. Yep.
Limited Optics, Limited, and then Limited 10 by default. I think Lim 10 came about because they made a change to the division, so it became an optics legal division. So at first they did the very what a lot of people in USPSA do, and they just kind of like bastard child, redheaded stepchild this thing, and like, yeah, there's no nationals for Lim 10, not enough people shoot it. Well, they changed it now, so they kind of wanted to put, there has to be a home for it somewhere, and so they're like, okay, well, it's too late for Factory Gun Nationals. Factory Gun Nationals is going to sell out, so we'll put it in Race Gun. But essentially, it's the only low cap division at the high cap match, essentially.
That's a lot of reloads.
Which,
how many people shot L10?
I heard 19. I think it ended up being 15.
And I'm assuming you're gonna have to guess here, but how many of those people had a dot on their gun?
All of them, I'm pretty sure.
All of them. Interesting.
But the thing is, like, people are like, "Oh, Lim 10," and what, Riser? What do you hate more than anything in the action shooting sports?
That would be hiding, sir. I hate hiding.
Yep. So people are like, "Oh, hiding in Lim 10." So there were 16 people. 16 people got a score. But let's just run down the top, some of the names in the top here. Who won? Shane Coley. Right behind him, Hunter Constantine, and right behind him, Tim Dundery. And then there was me in fourth. And then we had J-Lise Williams as well. And then we kind of run out of names that I'd recognize. But, we had essentially...
So we got at least 4 GMs and a world champion.
Right. So it while it was small, you weren't hiding. there was some legit
you could break
heat.
the top 10 pretty easily, but you weren't going to end up on the box without some real shooting.
Yeah, you really had to shoot towards the end there. And going into day 2, so Hunter Constantine shot the staff match. So he was sitting with a hundo the whole time. Going into day 2, I was sitting in second place. But I also had shot Zone 3. Zone 3 had more of the large courses.
Oh, so you had more points available.
Yeah,
that
so
day.
I had more points going into that day. And that would flip around on day 3. But going into day 3, I was ahead of Shane Coley.
See, folks, this is why I stopped
3%.
looking at scores, because they don't actually tell you anything. Because
Right.
you're just kind of reading tea leaves.
Yeah, I didn't look at it until I was done shooting. When I was done shooting, I screenshot that. So I'm like, yeah, look at that. Me in front of Shane Coley. Suck it. But
Nice.
But also, I knew that probably wasn't going to last. I was really hoping, because Timmy's my friend, so I was really hoping that I could hold on to third as Timmy came through. I was up 10% on Timmy. And so I was like, that might stick, and I might get on the box at a national championship, or national pistol championship, which would be huge for me because, like we've established, pistol shooting is not my primary sport, right? So I think what you and I get from our pistol shooting is amazing, considering that it's not our primary sport, where almost everybody else that shows up to this is their primary sport, and like all of their training effort goes towards the pistol. They're completely focused on this. So I was really hoping I could hold on to the box at a national championship. And so that's why I forsook the belt. All right. Even though there was tons of belt going on, but
we're going to get into that.
I was like, Hunter Constantine, I see you. All right. I see you setting up this belt competition and then shooting a race rig in another division.
What?
Yeah.
Hunter didn't shoot belt?
No, I don't think Hunter has shot belt at any USPSA match that he's done it at.
I'm going to put my tinfoil hat on here, and I'm going to say that Hunter is giving out cash at matches to sandbag his competition into adding a half a second to every draw and every reload in order to place better at large matches. That's what I think is going on. I think he is executing the most expensive sandbag in the history of the competition shooting sports.
Yeah, and I don't even know that he would deny it. But at the same time, I'm not mad at it.
It's also genius marketing.
It's super genius.
Yeah,
he gave away.
Well,
he gave away.
So let's get. Yeah, he gave away a car. So belt cash has turned into belt car, belt Corvette. Right. Mm-hmm. It was like a 1980 something Corvette, if I recall the photo correctly.
Somebody who's a car person said he doesn't even understand. That's the first year they did that car, and I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure Hunter knows exactly what that is.
Yeah, yeah. They gave away a car. No, somebody from the Army Marksmanship Unit got it.
Yeah, Jacob Hetherington won it.
Yeah, Jacob Hetherington. Yeah, so we now have AMU dudes shooting for belt cash.
Yeah,
that's how out of hand this has gotten. This is so awesome.
The rumor was that he was gonna drive it home. Like that was he was gonna win the car and drive it home.
Yes, dude.
And I'm like,
God, I hope he did.
Dude, if you did that, like life would suck after that. Like,
yeah, it's driving home in the car that you won. That's peak life. Yeah,
you've peaked. Like that's it. I mean, mic drop, literally.
Yeah,
like,
you're done.
And but he was sitting at our table at the awards ceremony, and turns out he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm not actually gonna drive it home," and I'm like, "Dude, you will regret this day for the rest of your life," and he's like, and like the other people at the table were like, it has race tires on it. So if it rains on his way home,
you're totally boned.
He's boned. And they're like, and shipping a car home only costs $800.
Does it for real?
That's what they said. They're like, shipping a car only costs $800. And I'm like, okay, so yeah, that's the fiscally responsible thing to do, but that still doesn't save your soul from not driving home the car you wanted a pistol match.
Yeah, we're not talking about fiscal responsibility here. We're talking about a competition shooting event in which you won a car from the 1980s. Like this is all about clout. That's all it is.
Yeah, I mean, you have to drive it home, and you just have to play Danger Zone the whole way there. Like,
oh yeah, just Kenny Loggins on a loop.
Yeah, just Kenny Loggins.
Maybe some
all the way back to Fort Benning.
You could get some gold earring in there.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, dude.
Missed
Last
opportunity.
Here I go.
Yeah, I'm so happy for Jacob, but at the same time, like, man, he's gonna be an old man, wishing.
I know.
Wishing he'd have drove that thing.
He could be sitting around telling his grandkids about this on the porch one day. This time when he flew to Utah, won a car, and drove it home.
Well, and here's the genius of it too. Like,
take it to the tire shop and get 4 new tires, man.
Well, it's like the genius of it is that it's obviously not a new car, which is why they can afford it. Like it's completely the symbolism of it, which is also great because you could drive that car home. You could get halfway home and it could blow up. You could blow that car up.
Yeah.
It'll still be awesome.
This is going to be like a Top Gear level adventure to get across the country in the car that you just won.
Yeah. As long as you take pictures. Yeah.
There's whole television series dedicated to this kind of shit. Like Roadkill is basically this.
Yeah.
Like,
that car only has to run until you get to the first stoplight.
Yeah, and you just have to make it out of the line of sight of everybody around.
You just got to ride into the sunset, and you win life.
Yeah,
like you do life. Curling now. All right, that's what you do.
Yes. Right? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, so Hunter gave away that car. That was amazing. They USPSA learned their lesson, and they definitely had more control of the microphone this time.
Hell yeah.
Hunter did not bring cash. He had a ton of other prizes. There was a grip of Smith & Wesson and Walther and obviously Vortex. I forget who else was in there. He had a ton of prizes for shooting belt, which I'm so stoked on. It just highlights. This isn't just USPSA, because USPSA is probably one of the better executed sponsorship and marketing companies of the rest of the action shooting sports, but it just highlights how wrong the action shooting sports has it in the marketing sense. Here's a sponsor who can throw his own money at your event and literally blow himself up. That he is properly exploiting the exposure at the matches, and it's super exciting. Like I gave up on IDPA a long time ago, like shooting from quote unquote concealment, because I want to like train as I fight and all that. Who's the spoof karate guy with the mustache? He looks like the guy from Reno 911.
Master Ken.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I don't care about the Master Ken, like train as you fight, like shoot from concealment. I'm on board with it because I'm like, hey, it's unique, it's fun. He's my friend. He's the entrepreneurial spirit of like, he is latching onto our community and rallying our base to try something new and fresh. That's why I'm excited about it, and it's cool. It's cool. It's cool enough that like I'm seriously considering at Area 2. Like, I'll have to put up a poll here because I'm debating shooting single stack at Area 2 because I can, and the ammo's already there from this spring because Steph held it hostage all year.
Nice.
Or shooting belt and I don't know, rocking my Erebus from Appendix to try and go from some of this cash. But it's just cool how much energy that belt has brought to the sport. Just with a subtle thing that the organization didn't have to do anything. People just found this place within the rules, and a bunch of people got excited about it. And that kind of energy needs to be encouraged. And so I'm super excited for all the belt stuff. And it's just a bonus that it's my friend doing it, and he has a really cool product and all that stuff. I mean, there is so much opportunity like this that could be done instead of golf clapping for whoever the title sponsor of the match is. I work for the title sponsor, so I guess it's safe for me to say that here. But like, it's just selling the title spot, selling the title name for a match is not peak marketing that the sport could do. There's so many other things that could be done.
Not even close.
And it just, both for promoting other companies to inject liquidity into our sport, but also to get it from the other side of getting people excited to participate in the sport. Because I see people coming into the sport now who wouldn't have shot USPSA otherwise. Like, I see people who would not buy a belt rig, a USPSA belt rig.
A race rig.
Yeah, a race rig. Thank you. They would not buy a race rig to shoot a match. But all of a sudden, you made it kind of culturally okay for them to show up with their CCW rig, for their appendix rig. And now they're going to step off of the LARPing range, the safe. I would consider Lucas a friend too, but like, so you kind of step off of the Lucas Botkin range where it's kind of your own world and you make the rules so you can be awesome at your thing. They step off of that training range into the competitive range, and now competition is actually something they're interested in, because there's this energy around doing this thing that's interesting. A lot of current generation shooters are not interested in contemporary USPSA. They are interested in EDC appendix competition. Yep. So they're interested in high performance shooting and hit factor scoring, they're not interested in race holsters and magnet pouches and all that kind of stuff.
At our local match here, I bet at our local indoor match, which is kind of the gateway to our regular local match, like 40% of the people that show up are shooting from concealment. Just like they're just rocking their straight up EDC rig, Glocks, whatever. Like, yeah, if there's 20 people there, like 8 of them are shooting from an appendix rig.
Yeah.
And it's just like they just, unload it in their car and they come in and they load it back up and they shoot the stage. And and then at our regular local matches, I would say, certainly not that percentage-wise because most of the people are, kind of a little more on the USPSA train. But definitely at every single match, there's 10 or 15 people. And we're talking like a 140-person club match. But there's at least 10 or 15 people at every single local that are shooting from appendix.
It's significant, though, and you see it. And, like, I was in a rules committee meeting. This was a few months ago now. I won't out who this person was, but we were kind of like make that, I'm like belt. And I actually had proposed like we should maybe open a concealment category in the rules, just so it would be tracked on practice score instead of like this kind of closet thing that you had to figure out. And a person said, is that even a thing if Hunter isn't throwing money at it? And like over half of the other committee members like, oh yeah, it's a thing.
Oh,
and
it's
they're like,
a thing. Yeah.
And they're like, really? Like, I don't see any of those people at our range. And we're like, oh, they're everywhere. And she's like,
there's no belt cache at Slipsa, but there's still people shooting from concealment all the time.
And they're like, they're into it. And like, oh, they're into it. It's not. I mean, I would say Jacob is probably the example of somebody who had legit USPSA skills and dipped his toe in for the money. I think belt has grown to the point at the national level that people who are really good shooters, they look at somebody like me winning that cash and they're like, well, I can beat that guy. And like, for $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, whatever, however many $1,000 it is, like I'll shoot from concealment because I always got to beat that guy. Like that's peak for me. I don't know that I'm going to be on top of the sport, like podium wise, but like I'm the guy you have to beat to get up there. And like belt definitely started that way because I won the first one because nobody took it seriously. And then they took it a little bit more seriously the next time. And now it's got kind of a life of its own. But like the guys at the top, like Justine Williams and Jacob Hetherington, they're legit shooters. Like, oh, all I have to do is shoot from appendix and I can win this money. But like the base of belt is average Joes, and they're super stoked on it. They just love the idea of their turquoise and pink appendix holster that nobody can see, and rocking out whatever totally absurd quote unquote carry gun that they want to shoot, and just burning down these matches quote unquote from concealment, because it's almost like. I think it's almost like
it was like Justine's concealment rig was literally a shirt over her belt, and then the gun was sticking out underneath that. Yeah, it was awesome.
Justine got herself an honorary rule change. They actually, after Justine did that,
it has to be in the pants. Okay.
Yeah. They actually started to define what concealment was. And
nice.
Okay, so I
figured that was coming.
Because at Factory Gun, somebody on my squad was like, well, shit, man, I'm just going to wear my regular rig and like wear a fishing vest, blah, 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 and go for belt cash. And I was like, oh, yeah. Well, Hunter kind of nipped that in the bud. And he put some guardrails around it now. And there was a guy trying to do that. He said, this is third-hand information, but there was a guy, quote unquote, shooting belt with a kilt on and an outside the waistband rig and a fishing vest. And so they kind of went over and they're like, hey man, like that doesn't really meet the rules. And he kind of did it's from concealment. And he's like, well, actually I published some rules on this now, and you're not meeting them. But then they also watched him shoot. and he was in limited 10, so he's one of the limited 10 guys.
Yeah.
Limited 10, kilt, fishing vest. He's not, and then they saw him shoot, and they're like, okay.
They're like, this guy's not a threat.
Yeah, they're like, you're not a threat, so you don't meet the rules, but at the same time, you're not going to shoot well enough that we're going to have to enforce those rules, so go on with your bad self. It's like, you aren't beating Jacob in your kilt and your outside the waistband rig.
That's awesome. Did you get yourself a belt prize?
I did not, because I did not shoot belt at this one. I was legit trying legit trying to put up numbers. And I almost got there. I'm pretty happy with how I did. I was, especially after Factory Gun Nationals, if anybody remembers how bummed I was about Factory Gun Nationals.
I remember.
I was really excited, or my goal was really to lay down a good match, like from an execution standpoint. So I wanted to get there, do all the processes, scout all the stages, have a plan. Shout out to my shorter friend Riser here. I actually tried something new. I tried your first person video stage plan idea, and I did it because normally in the past I would draw a picture, because drawing a picture you get 3 imprints on your memory. So I like that idea. Whereas when I did that in pistol matches before, there's 19 stages to draw. So that's
a lot of drawing.
And my artistic skills have not evolved from 3rd grade. So they really only make sense to me, kind of. But they're horrible and embarrassing to look at. And then also just kind of like the amount of time we had. So I decided that I was going to video ones where when I got to like long courses where there were some choices, there were some options, and there was opportunities to get lost and or shoot targets multiple times or forget targets multiple times. Those were the stages that I whipped out the camera. And so I video planned 4 stages where I decided with a calm mind before the match, I decided what I was going to do, and I videoed that plan to myself, so when I came back in the main match, I wasn't reinventing the wheel. I wasn't fast forwarding over critical parts. I was like, oh yeah, this is the stage. This had a confusing plan. I looked at my phone, I watched it. Okay, yep. And so I spent 30 seconds deciding, and I spent 3.5 minutes memorizing. And actually, I spent more on the match day. I wasn't even deciding anymore. Like, I had already decided how I was going to shoot it, and I just rolled up and shot it that way. So after Race Gun Nationals and a few of the other matches where I kind of struggled on some execution stuff and some consistency stuff, I was really out to have a full and consistent match as kind of a prep for the shotgun stuff that we're going to do next year. So I wanted to do that. And I really, like, my demons that I've been fighting forever, I really did not want to have an FTSA. Like, I might have rage quit if I had an FTSA at this match.
Did you get with? Oh, you didn't have one?
I did not. I did not have one.
We have both broken our streaks, sir.
Yeah, I've broken. The curse is broken. The curse is broken.
We called in the Exorcist. It's done.
Yep. And so when it was all said and done, I did not shoot a clean match. I kind of the term I kind of latched onto was an acceptable amount of acceptable aggression and sustainable losses. So I did not go into this match expecting to shoot it clean, because if you're shooting it clean, you're playing it too safe. For me to be happy with where I finish, I have to get up into the 80 and 90 percentile. You got to push, and you're not going to be able to push if you're shooting safe. So I was trying to execute aggressively without throwing everything away. And so, like, I ended up with not an inconsequential amount of mics. I think I had 4 mics through the whole match.
How many stages?
19. And
That's
so
not crazy.
Yeah, so it's not crazy, but like, and also I was also benchmarking myself off of Tim. So I would have been stoked if I would have beat Tim. Tim also had 4 mics. So I had the same amount of mics as the guy I was kind of benchmarking off of. And then, let's see, 3 or 4 places below us also had 3 or 4 mics. What did it for me was 6 no-shoots.
Oh, that's a lot of no-shoots.
That is a lot of no-shoots.
Yeah. You're still doing pretty good at 4 mics. 6 no-shoots is a lot.
And that's where, and the thing is like, I wasn't even super mad at him because, like, there's drilling a no-shoot in the forehead, and then there's a line breaker no-shoot. Like, it was right there, and it was just a little bit, just a bit outside. So
I wonder how many movie references we can get in here.
Yeah, so it wasn't a shitty shot that like landed in the white lake of a no shoot. It was all stuff that was right on the edge. It was line breakers. When I went into practice score and fixed it, none of those no shoots also had a mic. All right, so
so you had 6 no shoots and they were all on the perf.
All on the perf, just like our show.
Hell yeah.
Because that's how we roll. But yeah, so they were all.
I mean, that is an impressive level of like, you just went to like 100.01%.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Which is, if you want to lay down your best, to me, that's where you got to be.
Yeah.
Right. So from here, you can tighten that up a little bit, but like that's the level of aggression that you need. But yeah, all of those 6 no shoots, they were all Charlie no shoot. Alpha no shoot, or I called a bad shot and I made it up.
Yeah.
So and like one of them, one of those definitely came from, there was a weekend only stage. So there's a weekend only stage. I think it was Comstock, but it was 1 hit per target. So it was 8 targets. 1 hit per target. Remember, I'm shooting limited 10, so I don't have unlimited bullets in the gun without a reload. One of those was, so they had some tight obstructed targets with no shoots in there, and like on some of those, I elected to. There were some wide open targets. I shot those in the traditional A zone or in the lower A zone. Where they introduced danger, we were so close that I decided to just visually index on the head and go for the head because I'm shooting majors, so I'm only down 1 point if I hit a Charlie. And one of those no shoots was a headshot Charlie on the perf into a no shoot. So it was a Charlie no shoot. Or there was a swinging bridge or a shaky bridge on a stage. And they essentially...
Is that the same shaky bridge that's been around since the Hard as Hell days?
Probably.
Like the pirate ship looking one?
Yeah, I think so.
Nice.
But yeah, they had the shaky bridge. That was a 3 shots on every target one. And there were 12 required hits. So required reload for limited 10. And so... by the time I got down, and then there was a prone port, essentially. You ended up shooting on a prone through a port on this shaky bridge. And so by the time I got down, it was shaking laterally. It wasn't side to side. It was forward and back.
Yep.
So I was rocking forward and back on a stack set of targets with a no-shoot separating them. All right. So... alpha no shoot. Alpha. Actually, I think I got 2 on that one. I think I have 2 no shoots. I had 3 alpha, 2 no shoot on that.
Oh, that stings.
But like it was right there, and I'm like, when I saw it in the gun, I was just like, well, that was a good shot when I sent it. And it just kind of did me a little dirty there. So points wise, that's too much slop to legitimately consider yourself a contender against Shane Coley for a national championship. But at the same time, like, I was kind of happy with how it went. And then when I go into competitor app and I take those back, so when I correct my score, I don't know, you probably have rules for this, like for yourself, but like my rule is when I correct my score in practice score competitor, I took off all the no shoots, like I said, because I made all those up with points. So just removing the no shoots and then removing the mics without changing any of my times, just removing the no shoots, removing the mics and replacing them with a Charlie. So I will replace a mic with a Charlie, not an alpha, right? The temptation is there, like, oh, if I would have got 2 alpha on that. So if I replace the mics with Charlies, and I just erase the no shoots, I don't beat Tim. Tim got an 86.15 in the match. I don't beat Tim, but I was within 1% of him.
Solid.
Without gerrymandering any of the times. And so I was like, okay, realistically, that's where I'm at. And I was fairly happy with that. So really I came away with I need to clean up the no shoots. And then I'm kind of in the hunt of where I expected to be. And so I was pretty okay with that. A lot more okay with that than I was at Factory Gun. I think how many mics I end up with Factory Gun? I think I ended up with 7
I don't
or 8.
remember, but you were in a pretty dark place on that episode. So
yeah, and I got like 5 of them right off the get go.
Yeah, you're in a significantly better place mentally from this one than you were from that.
Yeah, and the two mics that are regrettable, those were on a swinger. The swingers at SUPs were fast. I don't know if they're always fast there, because I'm sure these props live there. So people who are used to shooting in Utah are probably used to these swingers. But they seemed fast. They're on the fast side of swinging. And the first time I saw one, or the first time I squared off with one at this match, I called a good shot on it, but essentially I was on the lagging half of the target as the shot broke, and they were fast enough that was a mic. So like I broke the shot on what felt like the lagging Charlie Delta line, and it was gone. And so I rallied
like top exposed swingers then?
Yeah. And then so I saw that and basically decided, okay, my correction was I'm only shooting swingers for the rest of this match. I'm only shooting swingers at the leading edge of the perf, of the Delta perf, and I'm not shooting after I get halfway through the A zone. So like I had to be on the leading half of the target or I wasn't going to break the shot. And that corrected it for the rest of the match. So there was those 2 mics, and then so of the 4 mics I had, 2 of them were on that swinger, and then there were 2 others somewhere else, and those were like really close hard covers. Like they were just outside into the black hard cover. Whereas like, well, that would have been a close Charlie if that was an open target. So like, need to be better than that. But like, I was kind of like, it wasn't like I just completely shanked, a slice off into nowhere on a wide open target. Like it was all, the other 2 were, they were close and they were tricky obstructed targets. So I was fairly okay with those.
So you're shooting at 101% instead of 99% like you should be, but you're not shooting it at 120% where you're just running around slinging hopers into the dirt.
Right. And like, especially when the swingers are this fast, I watch a lot of people shooting 120%.
Yeah.
They're like da 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 da, and then they're like they rip. Instead of 2 good shots planned, like I say, I decided I was shooting at the leading edge and I'm not shooting after I get past the leading half of the target, they saw a target and they were just trying to predictively shoot as many shots in that direction while the target was exposed.
Yep.
And seeing what that got them. And that's not a viable strategy for harvesting points.
Yep. Yep, for sure. So,
So
overall, like, how were the stages? Were they all super straightforward? Were they really complicated? Options, no options, open paper, lots of partials? Like, what was kind of the gist there?
I really struggle with
I haven't seen any stages from the match, so I honestly don't know what anything was.
Oh, and I meant to send you some videos. I had a hard time getting them out. But I was thinking about this because whenever I walk up to a major pistol match, the stages seem super vanilla to me. Like, there's only so much you can do with a 32 rounds or less pistol stage in my head. It's like, oh, we're going to start over here. And then, you progress forward, you retreat, you hands up, hands down, facing up range. Oh, there's a swinger. Like the things that pistol shooters think are really hard and challenging, we're just like, oh yeah, what else you got? A multi-gun stage is like 3 times more stuff. So I was trying to like, how do I break this down? And I think because at the same time, when I consider this not my primary sport, and so like I think of next year wanting to do, between shotgun stuff and multi-gun stuff, I don't know that I'm going to shoot many major pistol matches, which is an easy decision to make at first. But then I had a little bit of FOMO, like, well, I'm going to miss out on, and I'm like, what is it? What am I missing out on? What makes me want to come back to this match? Because there's nothing here that I don't get from my local club. Stage design wise, I don't have to come to St. George, Utah to get something that I don't get at home. So what is it? And I think what we get out of the pistol only matches for sure, and now we're starting to see in long gun only matches, the single gun shotgun, the single gun rifle, is single gun matches are a lot less extravaganza and over the top, and they're a lot more raw competition. Like it's unadulterated man v man competition, because that's all you have. There's only so many points on the table and you're all fighting for them. Whereas I feel like there's so much more meat on the bone of a multi-gun stage that it can be a bit more like a marathon, and then you're like, you know what, I'm just here it's me versus the match almost in multi-gun, where you kind of like slaying the dragon almost in a multi-gun match, just because they're so big and there's so much to do and people get so spread out. Here, people are, fighting over the differentiation is little things. Like I said, I mean, the difference between me and Timmy is in scores is 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 of an inch on 6 bullets that I shot in a 500 round match. That's the difference in 10% between me and Tim, is 1/4 of an inch on 6 shots. Whereas in a multi-gun match, you get so much more spread out on so many other things, that the environment is just different. So like from a raw competitive standpoint, that's what I get from a match like this. And so there wasn't anything out there. I mean, yeah, there were some fast swingers. There were some foresty stages to look at and figure out. But for the most part, when I roll up to any one of the stages, I can look at it for like 2 minutes and be like, okay, here's the way I'm going to shoot it. And, memorize that a few times and moving on. Whereas like when Riser and I show up to PCSL, I mean, how long do you spend on some of those stages breaking them down when you're looking at PCSL
like
stages?
40 minutes.
Yeah. That's 40 minutes of like, what the F am I going to do here? Like,
yeah, the first 30 are like, I have no idea, and then the last 10 are like, okay, I've come up with a couple plans, and now I'm trying to actually pick one.
And I'm like, when we're going through that, I'm really in PCSL and multi-gun stages like that where they're really elaborate. I'm like actively suppressing anxiety. Like,
yeah.
Like I have a compressed.
You have that moment where you're like, shit, do I even know what I'm doing? Like, am I just an idiot? Do I not see the obvious thing? And then you talk to somebody else and you're like, hey, AJ, what should I do here? And he's like, fuck if I know. And you're like, oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, so this is normal. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I get that anxiety from a PCSL match or a Zoo City match or a Texas 3-gun, but only because Texas 3-gun, they have like the really elaborate long range stuff. So like there's a bunch of numbers you have to remember. But like there's this really complicated thing that I have to break down and memorize, which has never been my strong suit. Even when I was in school, I hated spelling tests because it's straight up memorization. I actively avoided one college course in particular because it's just a memorization game, and that's not the part that I'm good at. So the memorization part actively gives me anxiety. When I roll up to any of these stages, except for maybe 3 or 4, the 3 or 4 that even gave me a hint of the anxiety that I get at walking PCSL stages, that's when I whipped out my phone and did the riser first person walkthrough. Other than that, I pretty much walked up to him and I'm like, there's one obvious way that I would shoot this. If I know the target count and I walk it through and I get that many targets, that's what I'm going to do. And in this spot and that spot, if I shoot more than 1 or 2 extra bullets, I need an extra reload and then I'm back on track. So like, there's no drama that way. It's just execution. It's just straight up a fast draw, a crisp sight picture, aggressive movement into the next position for most of this stuff. And I think that's fairly typical of pistol matches or one-gun matches in general. But also at Nationals, they're somewhat avoiding... They don't want to put anything down that would beget controversy. They want to establish...
stages thrown out at a national match.
Right. Spicy stages, in my opinion... This is just my opinion, but at spicy stages for pistol matches, you're going to see at section championships and area championships. And more section championships than area championships. The higher a level a match is, the more averse they are to putting things out that could create issues. Texas Stars, for example. You'll never see a Texas Star at Nationals because there's too many opportunities for that target to trigger a no-shoot, which would both beget controversy in if a certain person gets that no-shoot, and that's they were having a trash run, and then they got a no-shoot, or they got a reshoot, and they crushed it. So there's that. And then reshoots also upset their schedule. They're putting, I think, 600 people through this match in 3 days. There is very low tolerance for things that set the schedule off. And so they're just going to select out of stage designs and targetry that is high potential for reshoots because they're just on a schedule basis. So you're not going to roll up to this match and see something that you've never seen before, but everybody feels that way. And so everybody is freaking going for it. And that's where the vigor comes from, I think. It's not... Stage design wise, it's not like, oh man, this was a really challenging, interesting stage. It's the vigor of this is like 80% execution, or this is 80% stage design for everybody. So they think they can go 100, 110, 120% and get somewhere. But they are technical enough that quarter inch on 6 shots drop you 10%.
Yep.
So. That's what I got from stage design on this one. There were some tricky swingers for sure. That swinging bridge was tricky also. Nothing else here really, nothing really gave me like a stage plan challenge like we get on the multi-gun side. Like not even remotely. I think there was, like I said, I think there were 4 that I videoed so that when I rolled up to them in the match, I'd already decided and I could just get right back to what I decided in the absence of anxiety. So that was stage design for sure.
Was it a lot of medium and long courses, or was it more of like a 3-2-1 IPSC style with a lot of short courses in there?
Oh, a lot of medium and long. Being Race Gun Nationals, the idea, I think, was these are the high cap divisions. We want people
make them shoot a bunch of bullets.
Make them run around and shoot a bunch of bullets, which made Limited 10 pretty challenging. But I'm also here for it. Like that's kind of my thing. And that was the thing. Like I'm shooting on a squad where I'm the only Lim 10 shooter. Tim and
so
Shane.
You can't share Shane's plans with anybody.
Yeah, Tim and Shane are on an opposite schedule from me, so they were the opposite side of the day for me, and Hunter had already shot all the way through and was doing media stuff. So I had no idea where I was at pace-wise because I was on a squad with some good guys. But like I would watch them shoot, and it was like, well, yeah, I could shoot that way. I could shoot that level of aggression if I had 24 bullets in my gun. But like where they are sticking 1 reload somewhere, and even if it goes horribly bad, they stick 2 reloads. Whoopity-doo. And they're back on plan. Where I have 1 or 2 bullets for slop, and then I really am only carrying 1 or maybe 2 extra reloads before I'm like in a serious ammo crunch. So I felt like I had to shoot net conservative compared to what I was seeing around me, but I had no idea what that was doing for my score. And then the other thing was I'm shooting major when a bunch of other people are shooting minor, which I don't know that it really changes my outlook on how I shoot the points, but like I think all of us in the top 4 were shooting major, and 5 out of 6 in the top 10 or 7 out of 10 in the top 10 were shooting major in Limited 10, and the top 4 of us were shooting major. Which is, for some people, a little bit different mentality. When they're shooting minor, they're a little bit more alpha-focused. So it was really hard to benchmark a pace off of other people who were shooting minor and had way more bullets than me as to, like, how their times were.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I enjoy that challenge, but, yeah, it's very hard when you're in a class of when you're up against – or not up against, when you're surrounded by people who have completely different ammunition allocations.
Situation. Yeah.
But yeah, the from a stage design, it was all long and medium courses, pretty much. They were more monster stages than they were short stages for sure.
Nice.
And
nice. I'm about it.
Yeah. So I had I think I had 12 mags for my Atlas. I had all the mags. They were all loaded, and I carried like 6 of them at a time, and then I just kind of like left them all over the range. So
Nice.
I would not call you a Gary if you're rocking a dump pouch for that. I'd let you off.
So here's the thing. There was an unloaded start mags on table long course.
Oh no! I still think putting them in the pouch is better than the dump pouch, because if you just toss them in the dump pouch, you're kind of playing with fire in terms of like when you reach in there, the situation that you're gonna get.
Yep.
So I think the actual put them in the mag pouches is the way.
Yeah, So you were starting at the
front. Wait, it was a long course.
Long course.
So you needed to stow at least 3 mags, 4 mags.
Yes.
You needed to stow 4
gun.
mags.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And load the gun.
So did you just go like 1 in each hand in the pouches, 1 in each hand in the pouches, load the gun and go?
That was a technique that was done by people who beat me.
Okay.
I had a dump pouch because when I have shoot the lower cap divisions, I have a dump pouch just for policing all this shit up after I'm done. When everybody starts handing you stuff, it just goes in the pouch and you figure it out later. And then you make sure that riser doesn't put rocks in there.
Good luck.
And so I had a pouch on, and it was my first stage of the match. So I thought about just putting the dump pouch at my belly button and just having a nut tapper pouch for the entire match.
Just drag them all in there and go.
Yeah. I did not do that, but I did put the dump pouch on behind, and then I stacked up 4 mags like a house of cards.
Yeah.
So I had 2, and then I kind of staggered and had 2 offset a little bit. So I had a pack of 4 of them. And it was kind of one of those things where your mags are to your right and your gun is to your left, or vice versa, and they're about a step away either way. So I had the Moundo mags, and then I had a couple oh shit mags and the one I was going to stick in the gun. And so off the start, I went right, grabbed the Moundo mags, and put them into the dump pouch while I reached for the gun, grabbed the gun, and then my hand was free. The mags were on board in time to grab the one that I was going to load into the gun by the time I came back. Shot that first position, and then I had a solid like 7 to 10 yard run to the next place that I was going to shoot. So I had plenty of time to get loaded into the second position, and then another like 7 yard run to the last position. So I had plenty of time to fish in the dump pouch, and they landed in there the way I kind of staged them in my hand. Like, they landed in there pretty okay. So when I fished into the dump pouch, I pretty much got the bottom of a magazine with the bullets forward in my hand. So it was a little more awkward than coming out of a magazine pouch, but not too much. And so
you had enough movement to kind of fix it out of the way.
Yeah, I had enough room to absorb it, and I would probably do that. I would do that plan again. I was a lot more confident in that plan turning out at 90% than something else. 'Cause it just seems like the disaster factor on loading that many mag pouches is high, especially for something that you don't practice. Like, nobody practices speed loading their mag pouches, really.
Yeah, definitely
I don't
not.
think. And a magnet wouldn't work. I mean, the stage was intended, again, for high cap guns. So people were, I don't know if you could get away. PCCs certainly were just grabbing one mag and not planning to reload, not looking back.
Yeah.
I think open and low pretty much, they were like slapping one on their magnet and loading. Like, they only had to grab one reload and they had plenty of ammo. So that was a quote unquote fun stage for high cap people, where it was the amount of shooting you had to do for a low cap division. It was kind of mean and a pain in the ass and not our favorite. It was a survival stage for the Lim 10 people. I was fairly happy with how that one turned out for me, and I would do it that way again. But that was spicy, because it's like I gotta somehow onboard like 40 to 50 rounds with a 10 round mag restriction. So
Yeah. That sounds rough. All right. Well, results. How did everybody? Oh, gone. What do you got?
The other thing that stood out at this match, like the way they have oriented the range now, helped me out here with the cardinal directions. Before, when it's facing into
all the ranges
bluff,
were facing north.
So they were facing north before, and now they're facing south. And basically, in the morning, when we were shooting, your first day, you're kind of on your second stage before the sun would start to crest the berms, and then it crests the berms, pretty much anything on stage left of a stage was looking straight into the sun.
Oh, that's fun.
Which is fun with red dots, right? So, I was shooting with our buddy Colby, and he was the first one that made mention of, dude, I'm thinking about occluding my dot just so I can work around that sun. And I was like, that was a good idea, because on the first day, we were the morning squad, and I had to go hard stage right all the way to a corner for a hard look left through some walls. This was one of those places you could see this target multiple ways, but if I went all the way stage right, turned hard left, I essentially saved a position because I had to go there anyway. So I saved another position later in the stage, and it saved me a move forward. So it was one of those where if I shoot it here, I don't have to go forward. I just stay in the back.
Yep.
So I go to the right, look hard to the left, and that is right where the sun is coming up, just like the opening scene of Lion King, right? It's just like, Savannah. Like, that's how it was coming up, all right? And it was timing out that was the time that I was gonna shoot it too. Like, we're like halfway through our squad. And so I threw a paster on the front of my window, and I even thought I was being a little bit ninja in that I've like not had good luck with pasters sticking on my red dots as like a viable technique. Like, I've been teaching in classes before.
I have a little roll of gaff tape that lives in my bag that I use for that.
Right. Like, if you're going to do this properly, you would use gaff tape, but I didn't have any. And so I've taught classes before where I was like, well, I don't have any gaff tape. All right, we're using pasters. And then the pasters fly off after like a few rounds, sometimes, depending what brand of pasters and how much oil's on that window and all those things. So in my head, I'm like, all right, I'm going to put this paster on here, and I only need that thing to hold on for like 12 shots. And then ideally it would fall off, and then I would have my window open again.
Hell yeah.
So that's what I was hoping for, but that did not happen. So,
did it make it 8 shots?
No, it held on the whole time.
Oh, okay, that's better. That
was better. That was a better way for that to turn out. And it wasn't super occludy. It was more like I put sunglasses on my dot.
That's the other reason I like gaff tape is it's like full blackout.
Yeah, black. Yeah, you definitely get more light blocked from proper tape. So I shot it on that stage, and then I was like, all right, well, that's over now, so I don't need this anymore. I peeled it off, and the next stage, the sun was higher but still low, and I regretted that decision immediately after the beeper went off. I was like, still too much light. Fought through it, and that was probably a few percentage points to Timmy there. And then so I was like, all right, screw it. I'm occluding the dot for the rest of this session for sure. And then later the next day in the afternoon, as the sun started setting again, started to be like, yep, this low sun. So this turned out to be like the match of dot occlusion. Tons of people were working up like all kinds of concoctions to make sunshades, which was amusing. I think Brantley Merriam posted one. He almost had like a front. He almost had like a ball cap on his. He occluded the dot on the front, and then he tried to make like almost like the bill of a hat on the back to shade his SRO. I saw a picture of those, but like people were coming up with all kinds of things, occluding dots, because the way the sun presented this time of year at this range, the light was kind of dot Armageddon for certain aspects of the day. And so definitely occluding the dot as a viable technique for conditions, that was definitely like I definitely put that in my bag of tools now. Is like I need to legitimately have means to occlude the dot. If it's kind of similar to having a sunshade for your 1-6 at matches, you almost never need it.
But when you do, man,
you do, you need one. All right. So like, I'm team make fun of people with sunshades until I need one, and then usually I don't have one, so I have to eat crow and go ask those people to borrow a sunshade.
Nice.
But so having ability to occlude your dot for certain light conditions is definitely a thing. And I think for me, it wasn't so much seeing the dot. It was that the sun was hitting the window and you're aware of all the impurities in the glass and any sort of oil or particulate on your window. Like the glare off of that was more what it was like. It wasn't that you couldn't see your dot, is that you could see a lot of other stuff too. It was a very noisy sight picture, and essentially restricting how much light was coming in front side of the lens just quieted down that sight picture enough that you could get back to relaxed visual effort and target focus.
Nice.
Now let's look at some scores.
All right, let's look at some scores.
So we broke down limited 10 here a little bit. That's the real match. So Shane Coley won. Hunter Constantine was right behind him at 97. And Hunter was sitting on top at 100%, basically watching him come from behind like Jaws. Just
that's got to be stressful.
Yeah, just watching him, and he was just watching him right hundo, 98, hundo. So Hunter was sweating bullets the whole time. Timmy was 86% behind Hunter, and then in real life, I was 77% behind Timmy. Like I said, in Practice Score Fantasyland, I was right there behind Timmy. If I could get a do-over on some of my stuff. But that's pretty much how Limb 10 went down. Now, you'll notice I'm not super mad because if you notice down there in 7th, we have J. Lease Williams.
Yeah, I was going to say, you beat J. Lease on a World Shoot year. So
yeah, so I was like, you know what?
That's pretty legit.
I am not on suicide watch after this match.
That's good.
But let's see here. What else we got? The little cursor on the side of Practice Score is really tough on my laptop. I'm struggling to switch divisions.
Oh, I've given up on the website version. It's too annoying for me.
Oh, what are you on?
I just run competitor app.
Oh, well, then I can't talk to you.
I think you can talk to me. You just can't see me.
Oh,
here.
Well, that would probably be.
Well, here
That would be better radio.
Let's double team this here. You pull open and I'll pull PCC.
All right.
We're gonna get through this, folks. We're gonna get through this.
All right. So limited division, we had Gianni in first. Or wait, are these? I should also probably make sure these are the most up-to-date ones. Because that's not right, because Mason Lane won, I'm pretty sure. Yes. Mason Lane won at 100% in limited. Right behind him was Scott at 98, Scott Brown at 98%, then Gianni at 97. And then we have Nils Johannesson at 93%.
Ooh, buddy.
And let this be a lesson to all of you who are like, oh, Nils can beat anybody with a canic and a blah, 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 blah. Nils, shot minor, got third. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th. We get down to 13th place before we find somebody else shooting minor. All right. So,
yeah.
Major's a thing. Points per second, more points you can get per second. It really helps.
Yep. Indeed it does. All right. PCC. Max Legrandis taking home the dub. Surprising absolutely nobody.
It was really close there for a while.
It was very close for quite a while between Max and Brian. Yeah. Then Max just kind of pulled ahead.
Jason Wood was on the edge of his seat, biting his nails and pulling out what hair he has left watching that race.
That's awesome. Brian Nelson, second place. Miggs, young buck, coming up in third place. Damn juniors, we need to get something to protect us from those kids. And then Kyle Litzy, barely by like a few tenths of a percent behind Miggs in fourth. And we'll go down Chris Barnett in fifth, and Justine Williams ended up in sixth, taking out Scott Green. Dude, PCC was freaking stacked. I'm just going to read off a few names here. Scott Green, David Jing, I don't actually know how to say his name. Andre Desatel, Duncan Klein, Mark Schulte, Rain, I ain't even going to try homie's last name. Zach Smith, like Josh Freilich, 15th. Like, dude, there is some gangsters. Like, yeah, you're at 15th place and you have a former world champion. So that's a pretty stacked division right now.
Yeah, and like it's fun to make fun of PCC because it is. But also, like, I really think now in the last year, I think PCC has been pushed to a level that they're like their own thing now. Like, it really is a whole new world. It's kind of, they're at the bleeding edge of what can be done with a carbine anywhere. Like, that sport now is basically like, you want to talk about predictive reactive shooting, they're predictively shooting alphas at 25-30 yards. If you aren't predictively shooting to alpha at 30 yards, you aren't, there's a race and you're not in it.
Yeah.
Okay, like they're racing at the edge of what the guns will do. They actually need to tune more speed into the guns. Like, they need the gun to shoot faster, which kind of sounds like what we talk about with every gun, but like these, they mechanically need this thing to shoot flatter and faster because the athletes have pushed it to the point where they can predictively shoot alphas at 30 yards. And so it's predictive pair nationals all the way through, basically.
Yeah.
You know, much. And they're just like at a whole nother level. And there's nothing at a pistol match that will challenge these guys.
Yeah, there really needs to be a PCC nationals because, like you said, you can shoot the hardest target in the match with a hammer pair. So,
yeah,
at that point, you know, what are we doing here?
Right. And so it's not like it used to be like, oh, you can't shoot a pistol, so you brought a rifle to a pistol match. Now, there ain't nothing at a pistol match that can challenge these guys. It's easy for them, and they're at a level, the athletes are at a level that they're hungry for more of a challenge.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, which I think is just super cool.
That's awesome. Yeah,
I don't want to do it, but it's super cool.
Yeah, it's funny to see it go from like kind of a joke to like, oh shit, this is a real ass thing. All right, open division. Christian Saylor continuing his streak of utter domination.
Surprising no one.
Yep, exactly. Brian Jones on the silver medal spot, and Aaron Edens, Edens from the AMU taking home the bronze. And we already covered limited and limited 10.
Hang on here. So I think I'm going to go out on a limb here. And I'm going to say that open division died in 2025. It's dead. Because I don't think it's not the biggest division of participation at the match.
No, but it never has been.
Right. The Heat now is in, aside from Christian and the few of those guys at the top who are traditional shooters, the Come-Uppers are in other divisions. The Come-Uppers are either in PCC or in limited optics. And name me 3 people that are making open guns right now.
That
If
I
you-
think is the big thing. I think
If you want to buy an open gun,
all the
name me
builders
three
are like,
people that will build you one.
I'm done with this. Yeah. I
Yeah.
kind of want there to be open mine or slide ride. Like I want there to be a division for what we shoot in 3-gun as an open gun.
I really
Like,
do think.
I want to shoot open. I just don't want to deal with like 9 major. That sounds awful.
Yeah. The sport, if the sport wants to keep open viable, open major needs to come down to 155 power factor for reasons that are an entirely their own show. But the guns themselves are super exotic, and they're not just it's the equivalent of a drag race car, and like nobody buys a drag race car and then gets upset when it blows up. Like, it's going to blow up someday.
Yeah.
However, high-end gun customers are like, I bought this $10,000 gun from you and it not work. WTF. Like,
Yeah.
that's what killed it. Like, that is my
Atlas
presumption.
doesn't make the chaos anymore.
That's my presumption of why Atlas doesn't make the chaos. Like, oh, well, let's just get Atlas to make the chaos. Atlas should bring back the chaos. They're not going to, or at least not mainstream. 1, because they're hard to make. 2, they're really expensive. 3, you have to put up with chaos customers. And that
Yeah.
probably kills it more than anything. You have to put up with open major customers. I think most of the other gun builders are the same way. There's a few that will do them still, sure. They'll charge you for them, and their lead time is at least 2 years. So I don't, as it exists right now, I don't see a future for open division. It's going to become what heavy metal was in 3-gun.
I think you're right.
It doesn't look that way now.
But it will.
When we look back in
the
5 or
writing's
10
on the
years,
wall. We've seen this movie before and we know how it ends.
Yep. So I think this is the year that open division died.
Yep.
Or it got
right.
put on hospice. Limited optics.
Limited optics, the big division with 278 people in it. I'm not going to read off all these, but I am going to jump down and start at 10 because Salt Lake local, my buddy Alistair Stewart broke the top 10 at Nationals in the biggest division. Woo. Hell yeah, brother. Nice freaking job.
Got Jacob
right.
Hetherington at 8th, shooting belt.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And then
Taking home 8th.
1% off of JJ Rikaza. Again,
Yeah. Which is
Jacob shooting belt right behind JJ, just being JJ.
Yeah, just doing JJ stuff. But yeah, so in 3rd place, Brantley Merriam. Merriam. I keep thinking that it's Merriman, but it's Merriam. Anyways, yeah, Brantley in 3rd place at 97%. Casey Eusebio at 99.44%. And perhaps my favorite part of this entire match, who the fuck is Adam Grimm?
Cinderella story comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's awesome. So Adam Grimm also won. Was it Area 3?
Could
I
be.
think. Yeah. What's where are our buddies from Not Another Shooting Show? Are they Area 3?
Yep, that's Area 3.
Yeah. So so Adam Grimm also won Area 3. He's Idaho boy. Has just been like hanging out in the mountains, honing his craft. And a friend of mine who I met in North Carolina this spring said that he's like he's like, oh yeah, he's like the local crusher dude at their club match and is kind of like starting to branch out and shoot stuff. So they actually had shirts made that said, "Who the fuck is Adam Grimm?" and wore them around at awards because they knew, they're like, homeboy is gonna murder everybody. And sure enough, Adam Grimm edging out Casey Eusebio for the dub in limited optics at Race Gun Nationals. Hell yeah, brother.
That
Hell
is
yeah. That's
that
awesome.
is kind of like the ultimate confidence flex. If you're so confident that you're going to make a splash at a match that you make t-shirts ahead of time.
Well, I don't think he made t-shirts. I think his friends did.
Oh yeah. But
Yeah.
even they said it at awards. Shannon Smith, he's like, I have no idea who this guy is, but I'm looking forward to meeting him because I think we're going to see a lot of them.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah. So hell yes.
More Adams in this world, crushing. I love it. That's what
Yeah,
we need.
it's biblical. That's really
It's biblical.
really what it is.
Exactly. Adams finished first. That's all there is to it.
Well, or
right.
fourth, or you know,
Or fourth, or or whatever.
whatever.
Yeah. All right. Put that back up there. So, here's the deal, folks. My wife's Canadian, and it is past starting time for Game 4 of the World Series right now where the Blue Jays are playing. So if I want to stay married, I need to wrap this shit up and get upstairs, which is exactly what we're going to do. Because if I don't stay married, there's not going to be any more on the Perf podcast, and we're already almost 2 hours in, and a little behind the scenes, my computer crashed partway into our first attempt at recording this episode. So this is actually take 2. So we've been at this a minute. And Maxwell hasn't really slept in like 4 days. So, unless you got anything to add, you good?
Just keep those overlays handy.
All right. This is On the Perf, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye, everyone.